Hello. I was asked to give some ideas about how to write a good poem, and I thought, first of all, this is probably pretty obvious, but you have to have a good idea. You have to have something that you really want to write about, something that matters to you in particular. And then you need to build your poem around that idea. That's fairly obvious too. But then it gets tricky because the second thing I would do, and you might like to try to do, is find another idea. And then you need to take the two ideas and find a way of putting them together, um, if you can. And you can use one to sort of enhance the other, or almost as to go against the first one, to kind of create a bit of tension, to create a thesis and an antithesis, or a bit of a dialogue. And then you actually start to write the poem. You need to find a way of saying what you have in your mind, getting the form, the tone, the rhythm, the language, the atmosphere of the poem. And once you've got all that, then you start to really write, and you write line after line, and you throw a lot of them away, and you have to really work at it, and maybe even just put the poem aside for a while and go back to it and think it through again. And sometimes you find you look and think that you've lost your way in this poem. You started something, and then somewhere along the way you went in a different direction, and you realize you're not saying what you meant to say at all. And that can be kind of discouraging, so you might just want to throw it away. Or you might actually realize that what you are saying isn't what you originally thought you would say, but you actually like it better. So you might then try to go in that direction. And finally, once you've done all that, weeks later, days later, months later, years later, you have to finish the poem. And this is where it gets tricky, because you might think you really have to say something quite clever, or you have to bring it all together. And quite often I find that I go on too long, and I have to just cut back. And a really good editor will also tell you that if he or she sees it and you haven't yourself. And then you finish your poem, or you think you have, but there's always little niggly things that you want to fix, so you do. And this is where you can also ruin the poem. So keep old copies, and whatever you do, put it aside, maybe send it out. And even if you decide you really don't like it, keep it, because you might find that you want to improve it years later. And it might be the best poem you ever wrote at that at that point.